put a seatbelt on.
Yeah.
All right, so what Joe Rogan is doing, let me preface my entire argument. My argument and what I'm worried about a little bit. It's not a real concern, but it is a concern that I thought about a couple of days this week. Is that black podcasting is turning into we're entering into this moment where we possibly might be handing the culture of black podcasting over to corporations. The same way hip hop did, right? So a lot of people, mind you, there's been a lot of...
What the fuck is black podcasting?
Black podcasting is large black platforms like Shannon Sharp. He's got a huge platform, but he's under
the volume.
It's just the thing.
He's a black podcast? Are we a black podcast?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we're black. So
because we're black, yeah.
He's talking about building a business through blacks and keeping it within and
that's what I'm
owning it.
Yeah,
that's what he's trying to talk about. Instead of giving it
it
to
might not be,
corporations.
your content might not be only for black people.
Right.
I'm not talking about your content being.
No.
I'm talking about black built companies right now. That's pretty much what I'm. That's pretty much what I'm talking about.
Urban
Black
media.
ownership.
Huh?
Urban media.
It's not all of it's not even urban.
Yeah.
It could be.
He's talking
support
about
for
black ownership.
He's
I'm talking about black
Yeah.
ownership.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it like that because when you look at some of these podcasting deals, bro, some of these podcasting deals are starting to look like record label deals. Shannon Sharp has 𝔓𝔬𝔦𝔑 Productions. So when his Cat Williams thing first initially came out, mind you, I'm excited and happy for him either way. But it's you don't even realize, or a lot of people don't realize, this nigga signed to the Volume.
Yeah.
Then you look at the Volume, and then you think about, Jeff Teague is signed to Shannon Sharp, 𝔓𝔬𝔦𝔑 Productions. So it's and then who the Volume's partnered with? iHeart. iHeart is buying. iHeart is moving like Asians are moving, buying up real estate. In
Colin
California.
Cowherd.
These corporations buying up homes and
they're
shit.
buying up shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think this nigga owns the volume right here.
He licks
He does
power.
own the Volume. Yeah. And the Volume has a lot of that.
He owns the Volume?
Colin Cowherd, yeah.
Yeah, well, let's go to his Wikipedia. So long story short, I just looked at a lot of these podcast networks, and I'm just I'm thinking about Warner Brothers, Cash Money, YMCMB, The Artist. And then if you do YMCMB, this is another
Then
thing.
you have a whole
So then
rich
it's-
game.
You got Young Money, Cash Money.
Then you got Warner Brothers. Then you got Cash Money. You got YMCMB. Then you got Lil Wayne. Then you got Drake.
And Nicki and everybody.
And
underneath
Nicki
that.
and everybody. But,
Then a little twist.
so it's
And then from that you got OVO, and then it's
And then remember they had
And
a break.
OVO goes to it's not even down, it's to the left.
That took years to get.
It's it's another branch.
It took years to get.
Yeah.
It took years to separate the branch.
Yep.
And there's certain parts of his career that will never leave that branch of Warner Brothers.
Shit is rooted.
Cash Money, YMCMB. Never.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's done. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at that. And mind you, it's not always a bad thing. So when
depending on the contract.
depends on the contract, but it also just depends on
Where
I don't know. It's
where
just-
the person is at. It
Right.
depends.
I'm
It's so
just-
much context.
and that's the thing. It's-
Because
yeah.
I get what you're saying, but it all depends on if Shannon had the money it took that was necessary to do it on his own.
Right.
Why didn't he do it on his own?
It's always the
Especially if
why.
it's just going to be on YouTube
100%.
to where you could promote it the same way.
It's
You could
100%.
have the same
And what
artist.
did
He
we
might
see-
not want to take care of the overhead.
and and this is the thing.
Lazy.
And
And
you
he-
also got to think
And that's
about
just business.
But that's
if you're
fair.
scared to take over the overhead,
But-
you'll
that-
never be in business.
That's fair though. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah. But there's two
but
ways of looking at it too. But then
Shannon-
also think about this. So a lot of these people
You
are
used to NFL fields.
a lot of these
It's like
people are
Terry
partnering
Crews.
with I heard her scooping up a lot of people of color, black people, intellectual IP. Not even, I don't. Let me also state this. I have no idea if they're getting any intellectual IP. Right? I don't think a Black Effect being under iHeart. I don't think they're in the position to where they're let me get half of your podcast or 10% of your podcast. But I wonder. But on the Black Effect to the iHeart is 51.49, right? And then. But then you got everybody underneath that tree, right? And then for the other people underneath that tree, that even there's chops as you go down. You know what I'm saying? So it's what is that doing?
Okay.
What is that doing for that podcast that's joining? Is that beneficial for them in the short term? But then you also got to think
Depends
about
on what they need.
Yeah, it depends on what they need. But then look at
I get what you're saying.
But then look at what
Should be like a pyramid scheme.
exactly.
It is.
But then look at what Joe Rogan does when he gets his big check from the corporation. He's with Spotify exclusively. He can't do nothing but Spotify right now for however many years, right? But then he builds he's building his thing.
own
with
thing.
that.
He's
Yeah.
building that. So
Yeah.
he
And
saw
then-
what he got with 150 plus M's. He's migrated everybody to Austin, Texas. He's got a building.
Yeah.
But those are separate though. Those are separate business ventures.
The
That's
separate
exact-
business
that's the
ventures,
point.
The
but
podcast and the comedy.
I get that, but you think he's gonna resign unless they're up
No.
in the?
I'm not
they're-
sure.
Th're not gonna give him that. They're
I
not.
bet.
First of all, they're
Well,
not
yeah,
gonna
they're not gonna give him that 'cause
First of all,
it's
they're
not
not. They're not gonna give that 150 million. But I got it for that one time.
And they've already gotten what they want from him. They're gonna retain so much of what he's
yeah,
brought.
they're still gonna retain the certain episodes probably for certain
but
times.
just
There's
not even
gotta
that,
be some
not
type
even
of
that,
grace
just
period
the-
that they
just the-
agreed.
Just the viewership, the fan base, the people
Just
who
the-
came over,
just what you
the
brought
numbers
to the company,
I'm
for
saying
sure.
he's gonna retain a lot of that.
Yeah,
Spotify
good
is.
percentage.
But you see that's what they do when they get that check from the corporation. Because mind you, if a big corporation offers us a check, sure, why not? I just wonder why. You know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't more of them? Why are they so quick to? Why are so many black podcasts quick? Especially when they have
the money already.
The
Yeah.
resources.
But
because
who's
real,
in
yeah.
Who's an example of a podcast, a black-owned podcast that got that real big bag and didn't fully flesh out the infrastructure with it?
Joe
Rogan? I mean, Budden?
But Joe Budden was the first installment though.
kind
He was
of.
trying to.
He was trying.
It was
to.
because
He's
tried
still
to,
trying to.
He tried to
Yeah.
branch out into the network
Yeah.
after that.
He did, yeah.
That
He
first
did.
version of the
He
network
did.
did fall apart.
It did. It
so,
did.
but he did do
But
that.
the attempt was there.
The attempt was there.
The
And
attempt
he
was
was
there.
the first
there.
person that got that true opportunity.
Yeah. But in
And
his
it's-
attempt, he learned that it wasn't for him type shit.
And it's one of those things.
Which is why you can't blame a nigga like Shannon who sees from afar that this might not be my thing. Let me just be safe about
Even
it.
on
But-
top of that, Tom Segura and them have built their own empire over there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just so they've also done that too. Like the only
Their own thing, too.
only black people that I know that have done that and maintained a level of success is technically Black Effect and 85 South. And
85
really
South.
it's 85
It's
South.
really just 85 South.
Really just 85 South.
It's just them.
From the mud type shit.
They're the ones building it, and they do have their own mini empire down there.
They
'Cause
do.
they do
Yeah.
have
100%.
they have like branches.
Nigga, I
like
try to go to
they
Clayton.
moving like
Is
Cash
it a
Money.
network though?
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I tried to go to
Absolutely.
Clayton English show because he was just in Raleigh, sold out. Couldn't even
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only one. But then when I'm like, doesn't disappoint me, but it's also it worries me. You know what I'm saying? That because this is the thing. It's like
the cycle going.
Like we doing it again. We handing it off.
it
again.
is-
we handing it off because niggas didn't get hip hop stolen.
No,
Yeah.
we handed it. We gave it
sold
away. We
Niggas
gave it
sold
away.
hip hop. Let's be very.
Niggas
you know
are
what I'm
always
saying?
in it for the quick lick.
Yeah.
No
I
matter
think-
where we go, that's
yeah.
crazy.
And it is one of those things where like
I
the
think
cycle can easily continue
Yeah.
to where, you know, like Shannon trying to help a nigga. So it's like, yo, like come sign to this network, not knowing he's kind of just repeating the fucking cycle.
And you
Literally.
always have to be. Go ahead.
I think a lot of what happened though when we did sell it is that we didn't truly believe in what we had. Or I don't think we realized
Or the
how long it would
education-
last.
The educational value wasn't there either.
True, but like especially at in the earlier stages, like niggas thought that shit was kind of a fad. Nobody really knew how long it was gonna be around for real.
It was
so it
just
was easier to try to cash out right now. 'cause
Most things are like that.
Still
though.
sold it.
most things are like that, but that's what I'm saying. Like niggas was naive.
On the precipice of most things, it's always naivete.
And
But
ignorance.
Def
You
Jam,
landed it. You landed it, but you almost didn't. I'm prepared to laugh.
but Def Jam wasn't naive. Def Jam built Def
yeah, not
Jam.
Def
You know what I'm
Jam,
saying?
yeah.
So Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons. You know
But
what
I'm talking about people before them, way before them.
and I can't blame them. I'm
That-
talking
that's what
about
I'm saying.
I'm talking about at this point we got Russell.
Yeah.
We got Russell Simmons, we got Rick Rubin, they sold that away. Now there's all these other districts. But you know, Run DMC was the first time that they placed a product with a brand or a rapper and then sold
went
out and go
crazy.
crazy. So
And
that's
Adidas
when
Hip-hop is marketing.
that was when
Shell Toast is going
that was when hip hop was
You probably 12 now,
holy
right?
shit, this is something serious. They're getting M's over there, and this is $1 billion opportunity. That was the first time when fucking Run held the fucking Adidas up, right? Then they sold it. Then it was just like all over the place. Now we get these like side branches. Then we get these other. Now it's all
Vanilla
like,
Ice.
yeah. Now it's these boom, 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 and that's
Yeah.
how I'm looking at some of these companies where it's just like, are we heading down that path, right? Because I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Whether none of these companies could be asking for intellectual IP when you're selling them under, but when you don't own it or you don't have, there's something there's always
Intellectual control. Like nigga, if they own
somebody could cut your
Your
water
IP,
off.
yeah.
like nigga,
Somebody could cut your water off. Period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
YouTube can cut our water off right now.
For sure. Yeah.
So that's
Of
what he said.
course.
Like
Yeah,
all that type of
YouTube
shit.
could cut these lights off.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's different, but it's different though. We're still different. YouTube can cut our water off, but we can still get this episode out in another medium.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
When sometimes, no matter, you can't say certain things. We can jump off the bridge on this bitch, period, and just put it behind a paywall. Maybe not off YouTube because we don't want to violate those rules. But somebody can say no and say, no, we're canning that. You know what I'm saying?
In a
Like,
strange universe where we're signed to 𝙬𝔦𝔐𝚃 and it's like we're talking about some of his friends, he could easily just be like,
We're not
nigga,
putting
don't
that
talk
out.
about my fucking friends.
period.
Or you won't be paid.
Yeah.
Like,
Or we'll terminate this contract.
Your stomach will start hurting, nigga.
Yeah,
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't think it's happening yet. I think we have a lot of iHeart's buying a lot of shit up, y'all.
Yeah.
You know what
They
I'm
are.
saying? All these popping. And this is another thing.
Partner with the Red Seat Ventures to launch the Her Podcast Network.
What's the dude's name? What's his name right here?
Colin Cowherd.
Colin Cowherd. See, he's the one that brought the deal to iHeart.
Yep.
But the
Yeah.
volume was popping already.
Exactly.
The volume was the volume already. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. This was in 2018 when he partnered with iHeart. By the way.
Bro, this nigga, when they did the video when him and Shannon Sharp were talking, he said to Shannon Sharp, when Shannon Sharp said, I'll be joining the volume, he said, it feels like I just got like, I can't remember what I feel like I got, I don't know. Let's just
I
say.
feel like I got Michael Jordan.
Exactly.
Like, nigga,
literally. That's
got
literally what he
Michael
said.
Jordan.
I can't remember
The
what
first
football
round
player.
draft pick.
Exactly. That's
Like,
exactly
everybody's been wanting him,
Thank
and
you.
I got him.
And
I'm
Thank
so
you.
lucky.
Exactly. Thank you. Because I couldn't remember the football player,
Yeah.
but it was that energy.
I
for
first
sure.
made a nigga from the blind side.
I just drafted
Yeah, that-
Kobe.
I got a
whatever.
prospect that can't
It was a
read.
football player, but I just
Bro.
can't remember who it was. Yeah.
It's fucked up that it happened, and this is when Cat Williams comes to his show. Shannon
It's not-
Sharp, but
Go ahead, go
what
ahead.
I'm saying
go
is,
ahead. Bring it. Yeah, go ahead.
what I'm saying is Shannon Sharp, without the help of the volume, would probably still have the same effect with Cat Williams and everybody he's brought on.
Because YouTube's in the beast of itself.
Cat
see what I'm
Williams.
saying?
Wait, say it again. Shannon
saying,
Sharp would have the same effect
The same
as the
effect.
Cat Williams interview.
If he didn't have to partner with the volume,
Uh-huh.
everything that's happening for him right now on YouTube would have happened if he just did it with his own people.
Oh yeah, because Volume doesn't do anything but like sign a paper. Like Volume isn't.
No, they do
They put
things.
you in front of their
They
audience.
put you
I
in
mean,
front
they
of
put you in
audience.
front of the audience, but they're not making Shannon Sharp be Shannon Sharp. He's
Shannon Sharp is
talented on his
for
own.
sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Shannon Sharp is
That's
Shannon
what
And
I'm
really,
saying.
Cat Williams is crazy enough on his own. That's
But
what
Cat
that
Williams
situation
likes
was.
what Shannon Sharp is doing, not what the volume is doing. You see what I'm
Literally,
saying?
yeah,
Well,
he's the
and-
value.
Exactly.
That's
and
what
that's
I'm
what I
saying.
think about with all these people. Mind you, we're completely different, right? We're not Hall of Famers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
we're
right.
literally
No
getting out
medals.
the mud. We're talking about people
We're
who
the
like,
mud of the mud.
We're talking about the people who have an influence. They were ex-football players,
Yeah.
ex-rappers, ex-singers.
They got friends.
They're famous already.
Yep, yep.
Maybe they're not like relevant right now. Like Jeff Teague wasn't all-star
That-
every
all the
year,
time, yeah.
but
He-
he was Jeff Teague,
He was
right?
Jeff Teague.
He was Jeff Teague, and he had a little bit of an audience. Maybe in his case, no, he was Jeff Teague. He was in
He's
NBA.
still
He was in
NBA,
NBA.
but he
for
wasn't.
14
He wasn't
for 10
that guy
years.
though. He
Jeff
wasn't.
Teague
Y'all know
was
what I
good.
mean?
You-
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
like a
Niggas
C
like-
You knew he
plus
could
list.
drop a cool 30. Just
He could.
depends. It just depends.
He was a
when
B minus.
y'all-
He was a B
like,
minus.
Like when y'all joined Menace Material too, like me and Lauren, like we could do a show and we could sell 150 to 200 tickets, right? Like
Yeah.
and we could do a show in Raleigh. I could guarantee y'all that, right?
Yeah.
I can guarantee y'all a network of we get 1,000,
Yeah.
1,000 plays. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But we got motion. A lot of people know us, and I think we could build something. Like
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
most I can promise you,
Yeah,
niggas. Though you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It wasn't. I didn't come to y'all and say I'm stuck at 50,000 plays a week, and I'm trying to get to 100. You
Yeah,
know?
right,
It was
right,
not
right.
that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So it's
right.
like,
Yeah.
it's just different, and it just has me looking at it cautiously. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm cautious, and I'm wondering why I don't see more black people do what the volume is doing, what Tom Segura is doing, what Joe Rogan is
Rogan's
doing.
doing.
And Joe Rogan is a good example because the volume brought that network over there. Joe Rogan said, let me get with the money, get this 150, and now let me build this empire. He's not resigning. He's not
Nah,
resigning,
ain't no
period.
need.
It's
He's
not
got his own
happening.
thing he's
It's not
doing.
happening. It's not happening. And I've used this capital and my influence. Now I'm building my network. You know what I'm saying? The 85 South Show. Even though the 85 South Show is the only one that technically came over to the Black Effect, they still have their branch
Yeah.
and
Yep.
their
Yep.
and their show and their network.
Fuck a branch.
But
they have their own tree.
They have their own tree, but them signing is gonna help lift them up
And
and
did
bring.
their own yard.
Yeah.
And water their
It's
tree,
righteous,
nigga.
yeah.
Right, exactly.
They water
like,
in their tree, nigga. That's what's going on.
Them coming to Black Effect, helps bolster their empire that they're building. You know what I'm saying?
And real quick,
With their app and shit like that.
We mentioned that Tom Segura had a podcast network,
He
but we
does.
kind of
What's the
glossed
studio called?
I forgot the
Yes.
abbreviation.
But
we
it's
glossed
falling
over the
apart.
fact that they're
YMH.
failing. Yeah.
No, they're failing right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not doing too good.
Now that has more to do with the people. You know what I'm
YMH
saying?
Studios.
In terms of just business dealings,
but it doesn't negate the fact that he did that.
Yeah.
That he built YMH
They
Studios.
look like Red Bar right there.
Yeah, they've got Danny Brown show. They got Tom Segura show. They got
First date with that one skank.
They got
Yeah.
two bears,
Compton.
They got 2 bears in 1 cave, which is the Tom Segura Burt Kreischer.
And Bert, yeah.
Not today, pal. Where's my mom at? Dr. Drew, big household name right there.
Tom Segura and Espanol.
And Espanol.
Mr. Beast style.
Yeah, we gonna have that in a little
Yeah.
bit.
Did y'all hear about the conspiracy that he's fucking that one girl?
Yeah, we can talk. We can talk.
we
you know
can
what I'm
really
saying?
talk.
We
Yeah,
can
nah.
talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but I just
Yeah.
I don't like that black people do. I don't like. Something about it just I feel like it's like it's a rumble. You
like,
know what
what's
I'm saying?
going on?
What's gonna happen? What's it gonna be in 10
Yeah.
years? So all it takes is one person to get their episode clipped for something they said because they were, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
to make a moment out of it or to say, look, man, that's another thing too.
Putting
Yeah.
so much power in those corporations' hands is dangerous.
Yeah, remember when Joe Rogan signed that deal with fucking Spotify? The nigga popped out with like a 1-minute video and he said, I have an announcement to make. Plain English as fuck. I have an announcement to make. I've signed a deal with Spotify. I need everybody to understand I did not give anything up. We are only leasing this content to them.
License.
Like,
Yeah.
that shit was strict. He
Yeah.
said, I have sold nothing. Nothing about this show will change. This is my show still. We are just going over there for a certain amount of time. We will be behind this paywall, and I need you guys to come over here. But let me repeat, once again, they are only leasing this content.
Yeah.
This is my show.
Yeah.
Nothing will change. I'm like, oh shit.
It's like you said that shit with a lawyer present.
Yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And hopefully that's what Shannon is doing. Hopefully. But we'll see.
Who God knows?
Who knows?
Because him
I don't
and
know what,
Colin are
at the
pretty
end of the
cool,
day, I don't
right?
know
One
what
cuts his
anybody
part.
will do. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't technically know what anybody will do, what anybody's situations are.
Yeah, but Shannon's also on TV too. So.
We got Barstool too. We also got to think about Barstool. That was
yeah.
left out. There's
That's
so
another
many. There's like this tree. I think I just kept writing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like finding this person out. It's so hard to name, but I just think it's something to keep in mind, and that we should. I think we
You
should
know
just
what?
keep
All
an
the
eye out
sports
for it.
podcast
cautionary
niggas should
tale,
do
too.
that. All the sports podcast niggas should do that. Behind Stephen A. and Shannon
They-
Sharp, all of them should go underneath an umbrella.
I was just
and
about
they
to
should-
say
the
that.
volume already
Cannon
got
Base is
them.
another
But they
example.
should fucking do that somewhere else. Like
But yeah, they
But
got them
that's
already though.
but that's and that's the most important part. Like Shannon and Colin, I think they were very close.
Yeah.
Not close enough to where Shannon owns a piece of the volume,
Right.
but definitely close to where like Shannon is probably a big reason of why a lot of people are assigned to the volume.
But that's what
Yeah,
they all
probably.
do though. You get the big man
You
who's
get the nigga, and then you get the
You also have to remember. You also have to, and I say this to say this as well too. You also have to be cautious of the people ushering you over to these companies.
they gonna get the close
They're
one to
out here-
you.
they're out here being shepherds.
everybody's a salesman, nigga.
Yes.
Like
So, man, you might be a shepherd. I might be leading you to the devil. You,
Nigga,
you don't
that's-
know, bro.
I
You know what I'm
thought-
saying?
You just middleman.
bro, the
Yeah.
job I got
Trafficking.
now.
Just middleman, and I can get y'all because you fuck with me.
Exactly.
Facts.
To prevent
Exactly.
him from eating me.
Yeah.
Man, everybody trying to get
Because
you.
Keep in mind.
there's somebody on the other side being selective about who they're sending to go talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's something.
Yeah,
to
they
keep in
got to
mind.
make sure she has the right amount of
I don't
cleavage.
think. I think everything is still play ball. Everything is still play fair, play ball. Because we also got to remember, like Joe Budden getting his Spotify deal. Niggas was like, what the fuck? Like we hadn't even seen this before. You know
They
what I'm
don't
saying?
give niggas like you money like
Bro,
this.
Like it really wasn't crazy like that, especially in the urban space. You know what I'm saying? Things had kind of already been happening, but it was like that.
Wait, Joe Rogan getting in Spotify too?
No, Joe
Joe
Budden.
Budden.
Oh, Joe Budden.
That was like the first Indian over the hill. That shit was
It
like,
damn sure
what's
was.
happening over
It
there?
damn
You know
sure
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, but now it's just blossomed everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Then there was the rise in the overinflated paychecks that they were giving them, like, which is why people were getting $5 million and $50 million. You just inflated crazy ass numbers.
Yeah.
Shit that
Nobody's
was
getting-
never going to be sustainable.
yeah, numbers that were never sustainable to pull big content over.
I don't know.
But Apple Podcast has not entered the playing field yet.
You think they're waiting or you think they don't want
They're
to
waiting.
participate?
They're waiting.
Yeah.
They're waiting because they have enough money to buy everything if they want.
I don't know if Apple spends enough time on shit like that. Like that shit to them seems like
They
an
do.
ancillary type of thing.
I think they do.
They might be building out the UI for all we know. Like they just
I
trying
hope
to
so.
upgrade the UI.
They would have to because podcasts become such a big thing. You know what I'm saying?
Because what they've been doing with like, I don't know if y'all watch Apple TV. I bootleg it sometimes of it.
I got a free trial
It's
right now.
kind of, I don't really fuck with it, but
Apple TV. It don't have enough bangers.
it don't have enough
I don't
bangers.
know.
But,
They got good
but
ones,
the fact
bro.
that they have all
Yeah.
that money and capital and just free currency to get like Leonardo DiCaprio for like an exclusive film.
As a
Like,
launch
nigga, what
leader.
the fuck?
As a launch leader.
Nigga, that's crazy.
Sidebar
But
won't stay here, but watch The Bear. That's on there. Really good.
I've watched the one with the dude from Shameless.
Yeah.
You talking
I
about the
watched
cooking show,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I love that shit.
It's good.
That shit won a he won a
thought that was
Grammy.
on Hulu.
I mean, an Oscar.
Nah, that's great. I didn't mean to veer you off. Continue.
But nah, all in all, you know,
We should always about to get veered off, is it?
that's fucking hilarious. But it is strange, man. It is strange. And I forgot the contest.
Also,
Well, didn't Apple kind of legitimize podcasting early on when they first put the app
Gilly and
up?
Wallow might be building their fruit tree because they've
They
got
are.
those Gilly Fest and they
That's
also
true.
got those boxing events. So
That's true.
They're actually
That's not a podcast network.
It's not about that.
It's not a podcast network, but they are building. They could be building. They're building like a festival is a big deal.
Nigga,
You know
if
what
we
I'm saying?
talking about that, it's a bunch of black people doing.
No,
you know
but-
what
but
I'm saying?
no, but doing it
so
on
we
their
can't change the
own.
context like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair.
because that's gonna
fair.
fuck up.
That's fair.
No,
That's
no,
fair.
You
still
gotta
can.
properly define what it
still
means.
That's gonna
can.
fuck up the video.
Doing it on your own without the overhead infrastructure, like that's still something separate.
That's
like,
still
even-
the concept,
You know
but
what I'm saying?
but in the context of
Talking about
podcasting,
podcasting.
because we
Podcasting.
can name who are those two
I
black
guess
dudes?
what I'm talking
Learn
about is
your
building it.
Earn your leisure.
Earn your leisure. Like we can name a bunch of niggas.
But they
with-
have a podcast and they're doing that properly. But it's not a bunch of niggas. That's just that's
Earn
a
Your
good
Leisure
one.
is
Though.
underneath something.
But the
Are
thing
they?
is,
Yeah.
I feel like
can't
we
remember
damn
who
near
it is,
named
but
just
they
as many
are.
black
Oh,
as white
yeah.
examples.
Are they black? What?
No, we didn't.
Or very close.
No.
I don't know. I feel like we keep
only
throwing
named-
these black
I only-
names out there, and it's
It's black people, but
Yeah,
I
this
get
is
the
a black
concept-
conversation though. Like
the
in terms of
concept
like,
of what you're talking about, it's not like really happening.
it's not happening at all.
It's not
right
happening
now.
at all. No.
I'm just saying.
It's not.
I'm keeping an eye out for it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And we
but-
did.
but-
It was an equal.
and it
naming.
is a cautionary
It was.
tale.
It was an equal naming process, but the difference is, one side is all white, or one side is white on the other side is sharing ownership, possibly,
And it's
or
like
ushering over. You know what I'm saying?
And you got to remember, a white guy going to a white guy is still like all owned by white people. It's still
Different.
that. Like it's
But if
always
a
gonna
white
be.
dude-
It's always gonna be us having to branch out for it to be a thing. Like we're never gonna be able to just go into that infrastructure without facing that trouble. We got to try to fucking do shit ourselves.
And we also don't. That is true, but we also don't know what these contracts looking like.
No idea.
Like these
true.
contracts just look kosher.
That's true.
You know
No
what I
idea.
mean?
That's true,
Because
too.
yeah, they could be spectacular. All
Nigga,
I see is a lot of
yeah.
niggas signing to corporations, and
Which
then
at
when
first glance,
and then when I start looking at them, I'm like, nigga, that person that just signed is the third or fourth level down, and it's like, maybe, and this is also me because we also come from independent music grind too, right? The independent artist thing, and just when all the podcasts that I first started with, Loudspeaker Network was like the first one that like the first podcast network that I was in that world, but they all seem to move interchangeably. There was obviously, it didn't seem like there was any contract issues over there at all, right? They got to move and kind of in and out how they want or whatever.
Amicably.
Right, exactly. But it's like,
something like they were signed to
now-
a bunch of 10-day contracts.
but now the major players are in there, and you know the major players. You can't just move in and out how you feel freely. You know what I'm saying?
not like that.
Not like that. And it felt like every podcast was independent back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just curious to know. And then does that water down your content? Because I don't want to lose my affiliation to my network, because then they're giving me a guarantee. And that's another thing too. They get these I know they get like a flat rate. Like if you join some of these bigger ones, they probably give you some sort of guarantee, and then maybe you get some sort of like profit split after you made it back. But they might own that version. They might own that content. That's the thing, bro. These niggas give you $20,000 an episode, bro. They know they're making 150 off of it. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
that's
Like,
what
And
Axe
that's the
said in
thing.
that
Like
shit.
if you depending on like where you at in your career, in your life,
Right.
like what you need for the moment.
right.
But nigga,
Shit
that's
don't
why.
sound too bad.
For sure.
Especially if you can
Sounds great, actually.
Axe said that's why Joe ran from Spotify. He was like, Joe went into some office and complex
and saw
and
what they were
saw
getting.
what they were getting. Like
Yeah.
he said, he walked in there and saw that they made it. They paying them $100,000, but saw that they just made $800,000 off of what they did.
Who let him look
Yeah.
at that?
He did. He went into a room. He
Yeah,
wasn't supposed to.
academics
nigga.
said they would just leave. They gave way too many people access to things.
Yeah.
And you could just like stumble on somebody's computer and
Watch
just like
accounting.
And it's like
just
you
see the
see how much
accounting.
now you see how much this shit is actually worth.
That's why Joe
It's
wasn't
like,
trying to
whoa.
let Roy see that shit. He knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what you're like.
Yeah.
These niggas give me $15,000 an episode, and they're making
$5
Yeah.
million.
1.5
Yeah.
a fucking month or
Yeah.
something. You know what I'm
Something
saying?
crazy.
Or 15,000 a month.
Yeah.
and they're making like 1.5, 5 million
Yeah.
a month. What the
Advertisements.
hell
yeah,
no? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah.
That's crazy.
I just think it's something to look into. That's kind of what I was like
I think it
going
was a
down,
great-
which is also another plus that I was like looking at, like Red Bar, 100% independent, Joe Budden podcast, subscription based, 100%
Menace
independent.
Material.
You know what I'm saying? Which is why I don't feel no type of way. Niggas are complaining that Joe Budden won't release the Dr. Umar Johnson,
I mean,
the
I get it.
YouTube ever.
Yeah.
Nigga, Red Bar has 8-hour streams. Half the content is not on you. None of it is available to the public.
Nigga, not
You
a
know-
single slither.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like literally, like a 10% fraction of a podcast is available.
Maybe.
Like maybe, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's
he didn't
like-
put it down.
That's what I'm
Somebody
saying, bro.
probably clipped it up.
So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, we gotta watch out for these crackers.
Pretty much, man.
Gotta watch out for them. And shout out to y'all if y'all commenting down below right now, telling me I'm racist because I called y'all crackers.
Yeah, at least you didn't come from the other.
Is there a cracker emoji?
Has to be.
Probably a wheel of cheese.
Yeah, that's probably as close
I'm
as
glad
we're
you
gonna
said
get.
that. They do like cheese.
They do like cheese.
Shout
Government
shout
cheese.
That's
Nance.
the emoji for this episode. Everybody, that's outside of the
Yeah.
whites too. But cheese. Put cheese and wine.
Chill out.
Put a charcuterie board. Is there a
No,
charcuterie
there's
board?
not. No,
hors
there's not.
d'oeuvres. There is a hors d'oeuvre.
There's an
emoji.
hors d'oeuvre.
There's
Okay.
Put in a
I don't know. I feel like there's nothing wider than a latte.
nigga.
But that doesn't work for this.
Charcuterie board hits harder. It's a unique too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's high class.
Yeah, but what section
latte
is
is
that in?
like
that in the
regular.
food
I don't
section?
know. I don't even know how to spell charcuterie.
I was about to
It's-
say,
Bro, you about to
can't
give a
spell
niggas a
that
test.
shit.
We can't even
I
accomplish.
swear to God.
You know how to
Is there a
spell. You know how to
charcuterie
spell
board?
hors d'oeuvres.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, this is a sushi.
You know
Yeah,
it's got
I
a
know
trick
how to
letter
spell
in the
d'oeuvres,
middle.
nigga.
This is a sushi plate. It's not a charcuterie board.
I'll spell it right now on Google.
It's hors d'oeuvre.
No, it's not, nigga. You right or wrong.
Yeah, put a block of cheese. Block of cheese is hilarious. Just do cheese.
It's not-
Yeah, this holy ass Swiss cheese.
Let
All
me
right.
see what you put in.
Ain't no fucking
I was.
hors d'oeuvre. This
what
nigga-
the fuck is that?
He changed it
Lord?
to French.
That's-
Anybody can do that.
That's how you spell
But
hors d'oeuvres.
Look at how he spelled it, and look at
fucking
how it's really spelled.
That's it.
No, you put an E-U in whore.
Oh, I did.
Goofy ass nigga thought he
Oh, let's
Thought you
close
was
this
a
out
genius.
because let's close this segment out because